Hey there, welcome to another episode of Watch Soup. Watch episode number 19. So
Something.
something like that, right? I am Bobby Legs, your co-host this evening with Clayton from the One Shot Podcast. Sanjay will be showing up a little bit late. He had a little emergency, but he should be joining us this evening. Clayton, so it's been a couple weeks, man. You know what I mean? We both were in different places, different parts of the country. So it's good to be back, right? Good to be back
Yeah,
doing this
good
with
to
you
see you again.
because I do look forward to this every week. Um, how are you? What was your time off like? If you want
Good.
to talk about it.
Went to Michigan to visit some cousins, and my sister was there too, and met a couple guys that are typically in the chat. Craig Wilson and Detroit Spartan
Awesome.
had a wonderful lunch and went to check out some watches. They almost got me to buy a watch. I came very close, but
Yeah.
I'm happy I held strong. I was proud of myself, though I was kicking myself for like the next 3 days, like darn, I should have bought it.
Did any of
I'm
those guys buy
overall,
a watch too, or was it just like
yeah. I
okay,
no, we
no.
they didn't. No,
Oh,
that
okay,
day they
okay,
didn't. Yeah, we had such a fun time. So great to finally meet those guys. And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we've talked so much online that really it's not awkward at all. It's just like just pick up where we leave off online. I've met Craig before,
yeah.
and talked with him a lot. So yeah, it was totally cool. It was a lot of fun.
So where'd you go? Tappers? You guys go to Tappers?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice, nice.
So yeah,
Um,
that was fun. Yeah.
cool.
Then I was in your neck of the woods last weekend.
Oh,
So
I know. I know,
yeah.
man. I mean, one of these days it's gonna happen because you come down to Jersey every once in a while, right? I mean, it's
Right,
not.
like, it's her mom lives in South Carolina now, so we go less than we used to,
Mhm.
but, at least once a year. We were in, Colts Neck, last
Yeah,
week for a family reunion, so
yeah. That's closer to the shore.
yeah.
Cul-de-sac. That's like fancy Jersey Shore-ish. You
I
know what
think
I mean?
Springsteen lives, has
Springsteen,
a
yeah.
house there, yeah. They
Yeah,
have her cousins, yeah, they have a nice house.
I think Bon Jovi's over in Rumson, which is not too far away from Cul-de-sac, I
He
think.
has a rest stop named after him now, the John Bon Jovi,
That's right.
rest area, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So legends in rock and roll come from Jersey, the Jersey
Right.
Shore specifically. Yeah, one of these days we'll make it happen for sure. It might be next year, whatever next time we come, but hopefully
Yeah.
our schedules all align. Hey, but what do you got on wrist tonight?
I am, wearing the, SJE 093, the
Oh, recent
62
pickup, right?
Moss. Yep, got it last week, last Friday. I've been wearing it for about 9 days in a row, I think, 10 days in a row,
Oh,
whatever it
wow,
is,
wow.
since I picked it up. Yeah, it's I had the SLA 043, which I think arguably is maybe a little more dynamic and special looking. Maybe it's the ever brilliant steel, but
Hmm.
the sizing on this is just perfect. The 6L thins it out too. So those were the issues I had with the 043, a little tall, a little long. But yeah, this has been a great watch to wear. It's running about plus 6
Yeah.
seconds per day for me, which is fine.
Was that like an 8L movement in there? Is
It's
that
the
the
6L
oh,
37, so
okay.
it's same accuracy specs, but it's thinner. They use it for their dress watches, like those King Seikos.
Yeah.
They're using that. Some Presage models, I think, like the higher end Presage models, they use that. That's so yeah, they thinned it out for to put it in this
Yeah.
diver. So
Cool. Hey, and we didn't plan this. I mean, I'm wearing my Seiko Diver GMT here. I've already forgot the reference number. I
yeah,
already, I
I don't
already
know it
forgot it.
either. I
Yeah.
saw that one in person though. That is a very impressive watch. Like that's what are those like 12, $1,300
Yeah, yeah. I think they're
or
shoot. I think
1,600
I
or
think they, I
more?
think they're 15
Yeah, okay.
and discount, right?
Yeah.
But I got it. Yeah, it's actually it feels close. It feels closer to a Marine Master to me than the MM200 version, right?
Mhm.
Which is this is kind of based off of, right? The case is a little bit thicker than the MM200. Now, it's closer to the MM200 in thickness than the Marine Master 300. But I don't know, there's something about it that just gives me more Marine Master vibe to it. So I like it. I like it a lot, and I got this Crafter blue green rubber on it, and it's just
Nice
it's a
pairing.
great watch. It's just the green is just it just pops. It's really cool. Uh,
Fratello had an article today comparing that with the new Longines Hydro Conquest Diver GMT. So, and there was a
saw
case
that.
to be made for that one. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially because I think it's like much more expensive, right?
yeah, like
Um,
2 times more,
yeah,
or yeah, it's like
close to
double the
2 times more.
price.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere around that ballpark. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Like, yeah. I mean, I like this better. I mean, like, look, I haven't seen the that hour hand kind of just throws me off a little bit on the Hydro Conquest
that's the
GMT.
first Hydro Conquest I've even remotely been attracted to,
Oh,
though. That's a diver that I've never been
yeah,
much into.
yeah,
I think I'd take that Seiko over it,
yeah,
even this
yeah.
new one. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you might have a better movement on that one. I don't know, but for the price, I mean, it's a great watch. And
Well, it's
on
a
the secondary,
Traveler's GMT versus
right?
Collar, which doesn't
Yeah,
matter to
doesn't
me
yeah,
really, but
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, let's say hello to chat before we start souping. Hey, quicker than quicker than Joe. What's going on? Rick's on. Rick's Rick, what's up? How you doing, Rick? James Duffy is here. Hey, there's Wilson. What's going on, Wilson? Paul. Hey, wait, Ben. I'm eating shawarma at the moment, so not soup. Hey, I mean, I haven't had some shawarma in a long time, man. Bruno here. So we're talking about Fed Up, Oisín, and a guy whose voice puts me to sleep. Looking forward to. Well, well, Bruno. Hopefully you'll get some Red Bull or something like
We'll
that.
do them justice, hopefully. Hopefully we make up for them.
Yeah. Hey, Wayman's wearing the Shumbun this evening. Hey Scott, he's wearing his Calatrava 5296G again. Yeah, I'd be wearing that all the time. Um,
Yeah.
I hear that it is safe, says Symphony Rebezel, for people to talk about wristwatches. Yeah, this is a safe place. Safe place here. We're going to be
Yep.
talking about people who are talking about wristwatches. So we're going to be talking about them talking about wristwatches.
People who
And
are
and
consigning wristwatches.
and consigning, right, right. Hey, Brownie, what's going on? Good to see you wearing his Omega World Time Blue and Steel today. Very nice. Mr. Caliber is here. Hey, Peter C, what's going on? Underachieving Watch Collector, what's going on? Hey, Jason from Design Atelier, greetings from Aruba. Losing track on episode numbers, including my own show, right?
Yeah.
But see, things we don't have as many as you, Jason. So we should really. I mean, I should really know this what episode we're on, but whatever. It's all good. Hey, speaking of Detroit Smart, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hello.
Uh, eh, Jason's wearing and testing the new Viqueria Chrono. Viqueria. I don't know why I said that like that. I don't know.
I like
Hey,
it better than what I was pronouncing it as, so it's good.
hey, and Jemima, Uncle Jimmy. What? Okay. All right. I'm gonna get canceled. Quid pro quo. How are Nixon watches? Man, I reviewed a Nixon. I don't know if you've ever tried on a Nixon watch. Have you tried on a Nixon watch?
No, I remember the only one, like, I've seen them, there was the one that was in, like, one of the, like, Terminator movies that looked kinda cool. I've never owned one, and then, like, didn't, like, Random Rob have that, like, wasn't that a dork one or whatever that, like, had that
Oh yeah,
talk?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that.
I uh I reviewed a buddy of mine. I was like, you should review this watch. So I reviewed it. He had a Nixon. It's a quartz chrono, and the thing was just like this. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, he's got big wrists, so like it probably was better. But the thing was just huge, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know how. I mean, like, I can't wear it, something like that. It's just
Yeah.
anyway. Where's my precious? Are you talking about Dibby? Uh, Christopher Johnson, how you doing? Good to see you. Cowboy Swami's here. Johnny McJohnface, what's going on? Maison One, wearing his Moser Heritage on wrist tonight. Kevin S, what's going on? How you doing? Um, Thor, Soup Nerds. What's up, J Thor? Um, okay. Scrolling here. Hey, Chrono Craze. Hi, Tudor Black Bay 58 bronze on TK Brown vintage leather shot. I bet you that looks really, really handsome.
Yeah.
Speaking of
That
speaking of Tudor Black Bay bronze, I mean, did you watch Sanjay's stream last night?
Oh, yes, I
It,
did. Yep, I was
it's
in
gone.
there. Yep,
It's
yep.
gone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. uh,
I thought
fav-
that was gonna be a keeper for a while anyway, but,
right.
no.
No, no. Favorite G-Shock and go. Uncle with firing out the questions here before we get into the soup. Do you have a favorite G-Shock?
If I could
You're
only
you're more of
own
a you're more of a Timex
Oh,
Iron
no,
Man,
I'm
aren't
more of a
no?
G-Shock
Oh,
square
you're more
guy.
G okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, probably the best one I ever had was the first titanium one they came out
Oh,
with. Like, if
Stealth
I had
Wealth?
my druthers and, I should have kept that watch. Yeah,
I
the
had that
black
watch
one
too.
with the yellow, yeah. I had,
Yeah.
3 of the titaniums. I had the blue camo, and then I had that Trans-Tixie one that had,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the different
Mhm.
multicolored but that OG, yeah, if I could only have one, it would be the square in general is my favorite, if
Yeah,
that's what we're going with, yeah.
I'm in 100% solidarity with you. Square is the way to go, although I have, like, some G Steel and some others,
The
that
Mayor, of course, the
the
6900.
mayor, the mayor, right? That first, titanium, the Stealth Wealth one,
Yeah.
that one was awesome. I had that too, and I sold that, and I should never
Yeah.
sold that. That's a great
They've
watch.
gone up too.
I know.
They're a little more than I'm willing to even pre-owned when Toppers gets them, they're like 1,300 before the
Yeah.
discount now. And they
I
go
have
fast too.
they go fast.
Yeah.
I picked up the Digi Camo one, not the blue one, but the other one, the
Yeah.
black or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had it, and my wife saw it, and then she's just like, "Nope, that's mine." So,
Yeah.
like, even we have one in the house, but, and she wears it all the time. She loves it.
Cool. Oh, at least
Um,
you can, swipe it sometimes and steal it if she's not looking.
yeah, it's a size to her, you know what I mean? Like I said,
Right. Those
and
ones
it's
are
like,
pretty easy to no, are those the hard ones to size? 'Cause I no, yeah, those are the pin and collar. Yeah.
no, I think aren't those the ones with the little spring bar in the
No,
middle?
those are like the G Steel ones. They're the steel, the gold bling master and the stainless steel. Those have the spring bars, but I
Okay.
think those titanium ones are a little tricky actually
Pina
with the
coladas and then
pin and
forget it.
collar. Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be able to wear that. Regrets, I've had a few, but but again, too few to mention. Okay. Um,
How
Way
was
Van
your I
says,
want to ask you real quick. How was
yeah,
your trip? You went to Colorado.
yeah, it was great. I got to see my uncle, and coincidentally, my wife also has family there, so we were able to split a couple days with my family and like 3 or 4 days with hers, and we got to see some cool things. We got to see Garden of the Gods out of Colorado Springs, which is like these crazy rock formations, these beautiful,
Mm.
rocks that just kind of just, and have been there for like hundreds of years. And Cheyenne Zoo there was like on the mountain, like in the mountain. The zoo is, and it's pretty awesome. Get to feed the giraffes and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
And then yeah, it was good. I mean, Colorado is a beautiful, beautiful state,
Oh,
and
it's gorgeous. Yep.
and what I was talking the other day on the stream, um, the places that I've been just a lot of new development, and so it's a little bit of a turn off. But just
Yeah.
beautiful, just a
You said
beautiful
it was
place.
dry there.
Yeah, yeah, it's just dry,
Yeah.
just dry. It is,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, you have to be constantly drinking water, and if you're there for any long periods of time, like I guess you could, if you don't moisturize, you know. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, right?
I used to live
Um,
in LA. I just drove through those states,
y-
the drive-through states or whatever, but Colorado was a gorgeous state to drive
yeah,
through, the
yeah.
Rockies in the background. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Montana. Like, you hit that from going east to west, you hit a flat spot in Montana in the front in the beginning, and then you hit that
Yeah.
continental divide, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so enough to chit chat. I think we bought a little time for Sanjay to come in at some
Yeah.
point.
We
Uh,
tried.
we tried, but so we got if it's your first time here watching what we do here at the Watch Soup, we peruse the catalog of YouTube watch content creators on a weekly basis, and we pick and choose some of the videos that we think will be very good discussion wise between the panel and obviously the chat. So the first topic we're going to talk about, and hopefully, my topic and Clayton's topic is sort of related. Hopefully this will be the end of us talking about something
Yeah.
sort of like this, right? But we felt like it was, we had to address it because there was a couple good videos of it this week. The first one we're going to go over, we're going to talk about Federico talks watches, the timepiece gentleman situation could have been avoided, dot dot dot. And so this is the video that I chose during the week. And Fed, if you're not familiar with Federico, he is a gray market dealer. I guess you call him gray market dealer, right? Or
Yeah.
a
He
pre-owned
actually went on
watch
with
dealer.
Paul Thorpe today, and he said he does
I know.
not consider himself a gray market dealer.
Oh,
He
he doesn't.
considers himself a pre-owned dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I mean, like he, if you go into that news section of that of his of his website, there's a lot of new watches there that I mean, I don't know, I don't know if they're still there, but for a long time he had a lot of new watches
Yes,
there
he
that were
did.
at a discount.
I
He
don't
must
think he
have gotten
does
it from somewhere.
anymore, but
Yeah.
he did there for a while. Lots of Omegas, lots of, like, Karl F. Bucher, that kinda
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Zenith, Parmigiani. Like he had his share. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, so he was basically he's addressing or sort of addressing the whole controversy between by Anthony of the Timepiece Gentleman and that whole thing that we all know about here. That if you've watched any YouTube content on watches, you probably have heard about it and at nauseum, right? Everybody's talking about it, and so Federico's addressing the whole consignment part of this and what does that mean, and he says, and I'm just going to do some paraphrasing of his video, and then we'll discuss that consignment is an awful for many reasons, right? And this happens all the time, meaning that people like Anthony, right, who ghost or take the money and run. This actually happens quite often, which I thought was kind of scary, right?
Really
We just
scary.
happen to know about this because Anthony from the Timepiece Gentleman um, is kind of a celebrity here in this space that we're talking about, this watch dealing space. And another interesting thing that he's brought up, and I'm a little all over the place here with his videos, is that when you consign something, right, and that dealer disappears, right, with your stuff, that's kind of like not really a crime, right? It's called theft by conversion, and it's a civil matter. Like he
Yeah.
was saying that if you went to the cops, like good luck. I mean, nothing is going to get done, and you could bring this in civil court and perhaps get a judgment, but even then, good luck
Yeah.
trying to collect,
You're
right?
going to be the one paying if you win, right? And then you're not gonna get your money. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So the whole idea of theft by conversion is that you willingly gave your watch over to um, the dealer, right?
Yeah.
So there's no. It seems like there's very little
Theft by
recourse.
conversion.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Theft by conversion, little recourse, right? Um, and so then he was talking about then, if you have to consign, right? Only consign with someone you trust, or a brick or mortar store that's been around forever, somebody who's been doing this forever.
Yeah.
But only really, and even then, don't do it, right? But only really if you have a piece that is very, very difficult to sell.
Right.
Um, if the dealer um, can afford, so and then he brings up the point that there's a lot of dealers out there who are just only doing consigning work, and that's a kind of like a red flag, right? Because that means really that they don't have the money to buy your watch, right? If they had the money to buy your watch, he Federico said, just sell it to them, even
Sell it
if,
to them.
yeah, even if you may not get as much as you think you can get, it's a clean transaction. You can get things done pretty quickly. They'll send you a wire. I've had a recent experience with this where I sold it to a dealer, and I got a wire, and like the next day, like I was paid. Right,
Yep.
I got the label from them, sent it out,
Yep.
they got it, boom, and they pay me. Right. So that's what he was saying in regards to that. Um, and and here's another thing too, right? Um, so like when you're in the situation, right? Um, and the seller, the client is usually the last person who ever gets paid in
Right.
some of these situations, right? Like these dealers would rather pay each other first, right? Because some dealers consign with other dealers and whatnot. They'll pay those guys first before they trickle down and pay you when it comes to whenever these watches are sold or not sold, and because they want to keep that reputation, right, with other dealers, because like Federico said, like he can make one call to a bunch of other dealers and say don't do business with this guy, and pretty much ruin this person's
Yeah.
business, right? Where the buyer, I mean the seller, the client, can really, the only recourse is going to civil court, and then therefore good luck, right?
Right.
Reputation is
Or you
really,
can
really
complain on
important.
Facebook or something, but it's not going to have the ramifications of a bunch of dealers spreading the word that you're bad to deal with, right?
Right,
So,
right. Hey, there's Sanjay.
hey,
How you doing, buddy?
Hey,
What's going on?
good.
Hey,
Sorry to interrupt.
no worries. We're just wrapping up the Federico talk. So, hey, but
Oh, yes.
before I kick it over to you, Clayton and Sanjay, and get your thoughts on it, a couple of things. I've had experience consigning a watch or two with the same person, and it's AB from
yeah,
um, Ticking Way, his website, and he's got a great YouTube channel. He's great photography and videography, and I had known AB, right? As much as you can know somebody in the watch community without like meeting them in person. So, but we would text and we would talk, and he'd come on my streams, and still can, if you will. But I know his life is busy now, and so there was a trust, right? And he's got a channel, right? And
yep,
I know you're going to be talking a little bit about that. Clayton, but that also having his channel, knowing him in a somewhat personal space basis, I felt that I could trust him. And I know there's people here in the chat who've also sold watches through AB, and I had a very successful sale. I also sent another watch; it didn't sell. It took a while, and I just asked him to send it back, and he absolutely did. So that was not an issue. But I hear what Federico says, right? And it just caught me by surprise how and I guess maybe it's being naive about that part of the business that this happens a lot, with people just disappearing with some watches and cash. And so what did you think, Clayton?
it did not surprise me actually
Mm,
that that happens a lot. No, that's we don't. Yeah, like you said, you don't hear about it because not all of them have YouTube channels. But no, I don't think that surprised me. There's people that maybe get over their head buying, or maybe don't know what they're doing. Like there's a lot of these guys you see on Instagram that they don't really have a business or brick and mortar or anything. They're just guys who are buying watches and selling them, right? So I think it'd be easy and everybody thought they were a dealer, maybe in the COVID times when you could really make a killing, right? A lot of people saw this as an opportunity to start a side hustle or
mm-hmm.
something. And then they found out real quick they maybe don't know what they're doing. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it might get overwhelming for a few of these guys, and then they just take the money, take the watches, and run and skip out. So, no, I think you pretty much covered everything that I had written down. I've never consigned anything. I've usually dealt with pretty respectable. I've sold to dealers, but usually like, the toppers and the
Mm-hmm.
Crown and Caliber, although we've heard some stories about Crown and Caliber recently too, that they haven't been a dream to work with either.
Yeah.
But there's only one guy that's sort of like a backseat dealer that I sold a watch to. It was on the recommendation of a friend, and it went very well.
Mm-hmm.
He paid me right away. No question. Yep, I sent him the watch. He got
Yeah.
it. He paid me. I wasn't worried. He heavy presence on online, on Instagram, on Facebook. But yeah, he paid cash, or he sent me a wire. So yeah, it was totally fine. He didn't offer
Yeah.
to consign it, or I didn't get the feeling he was in over his head or anything. So that's really my only
Mm.
experience dealing with somebody of that ilk. But no, same thing. Everything you said. Yeah, I'm a little tired of talking about it. I think everybody is, but yeah, don't consign. If like you said, it's a really bad sign if I run a business too. It's like it's not the same thing, but it's you got to have money on hand to business.
Mm-hmm.
There are business expenses, and with watches in general, it's like you have to spend money to make money. And
Yeah.
if they don't have the money to spend to make the money, then that's a real red flag.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of people who will buy your watches who are maybe not right now because the market's crap and they're just looking for trades more than giving you cash. But yeah, yeah, don't consign. Just wait or try and do it yourself. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
And
too
then
risky. I'm too paranoid about all this stuff. Consigning to me, even with like a reputable dealer, I don't even like to buy watches on eBay. I'm
yeah.
such a
Yeah.
wuss. So
I
like, yeah, I'm
have
way
I have
too
no fear.
wimpy to ever consign anything.
Yeah. Um, Hey, Sanjay, what
Yeah.
did you think?
Well, a lot of it was news to me actually. I mean, not news to me, but stuff I didn't really think about.
Hmm.
Um, like the whole consignment idea. It sounds really good, right? Um, you just you give your watch to someone and they take a percentage, 10-15% cut of what it sells for, and then we lost my
Oh yeah, there he goes.
But, yeah, you take a they take a cut and you get your money back, but, um oh, there he is. Well, welcome back.
I
Thought it
was,
was Saturday
I,
night there for a bit.
yeah,
No, yeah, so I had never really, really put much thought into it
Look at that
because
picture.
yeah. So, it was informational for me. I
Yeah,
had never even thought of consignment. I've only consigned one thing,
mm,
um, yeah. The idea of consignment, I was playing around with it though. I thought about it. The only person I would consign my watch to would be my ED, so
yeah,
the sales associate that I work with constantly. He's the only one I really buy watches from too right now at this moment.
yeah,
Um, so I have, you know, implicit, explicit, trust.
yeah,
I don't know which word, to use, but I have
implicit, I think.
100%
implicit, yeah,
Yeah.
implicit.
yeah,
Yeah, 100% trust in him, and, I would probably give if I were to need cash, I would probably give it to him for consignment, and I would, trust him to not play the Ponzi scheme stuff with me. So, holding on that's the next video, but
yeah,
but,
Yeah.
yeah, that was news to me too. I was like, "Whoa, this is like a whole new world," like people willing to bend the rules to it just doesn't even occur to me to do that.
yeah.
It's ingenious in a sense, but kinda,
But
scummy.
you're infinitely valuable, and these people may
No,
not be.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
or are they?
They
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 still
are.
are. They still are.
They still are. They still
Okay,
are. Not
fair
not
enough.
to me, but
Right. Hey, let's see what the chat has to say. Does anyone really care about Anthony? We're going to put this to bed, Rick, tonight after. Hopefully, we won't be talking or need to talk unless Anthony does something else.
We haven't done a show in a couple weeks, so
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
have to
yeah. We gotta have to
maybe.
catch up a little bit. Um, HT03. I always pay cash for my watches. I buy used on Chrono. Never had any issues. Uh, hey, straight up, I didn't even know he was still on YouTube until all this BS happened. Effie Wilson still beating the drum for Div. That's the only person he'll consign to. Hey, Maison. Hey, a video that he actually watched. Oh, so Maison, you don't see the okay. All right. Well, I mean, you don't watch. Maybe I should. We should probably release the notification earlier so people can. I just do it the day of. I'm so lazy. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Federico really
Well, most
didn't
of the
like it.
time we wait till the
Yeah,
day
that's
of.
true. Well, because sometimes like there's not really that many great
Yeah.
videos to choose
The
from.
weekend
That's the
seems
problem.
to be like the strongest, drop of videos that might be something we wanna talk about, so sometimes you just have to wait.
Yeah. Hey, Scott saying I've seen some streams with people directly involved with TPG. One of his investors, quote unquote, says that multiple law enforcement agencies are working on a criminal case. Okay. Um, Timepiece Bengali is the only way to go, I think, in reference to Div. That's awesome. People were sold on his personality and his flexing, not his professionalism. How anyone gave that more on a watch, money, or time of day is beyond me. Strong words by Paul. Um, but you have to understand Fed is pushing the narrative to help us. Absolutely, Kevin. I also got that feeling with that video. It's funny how he says that, consignment is awful for many reasons and should be last resort. And then he kind of admits later in the video that they have consigned watches in
Oh,
the
yeah. We
past.
do it for family and
Yeah,
friends and
friends. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So Kevin, that wasn't lost on me either. I totally felt that way when I was watching that video. Fed is all about Fed. AB is solid. AB is a pro for sure. Federico was saying that he never does consignment. Okay, well, here once or twice, close to friends, family, but almost never for clients. That's what Maison
And
echoing
he
what we
started
just
his
said.
business that way too. It sounded like he
I
admitted
think
it.
you
That,
almost have
yeah,
to, right?
yeah.
You almost have to kind of start that business right
How do you
that way.
start otherwise?
Yeah,
Really?
unless you have you're independently wealthy and you could, or you have
Right.
some angel investors who have faith in you,
Yeah.
and right. Um, Bobby just stepped out to consign some watches. Okay. I thought Bobby stormed out after hearing Sanjay's hot take. All right. Look, this is what happened. All right. I was trying to turn my camera off so I can turn on this fan because it was warm in here. I didn't want to like stand up. And so like I'm still like a boomer when it comes to StreamYard, right? And so like I hit some wrong buttons. Okay. So sue me. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so almost related to, practically related to the topic in hand. Ocean O'Malley. Why Federico is right about Timepiece, gentlemen. And you picked this one, Clayton. Please give us your thoughts or your roundup on it.
So I'm only going to focus on the second half because a lot of what he talked about in the first half is just sort of regurgitating, Fed's video and just sort of giving like a summary of it. So I'm really interested in the part where he talked about parasocial relationships. So if you watch the video, that's the
Mm,
only thing we're going to focus on. So he said he wouldn't consign watches. Oisín said he wouldn't consign watches to anyone except a friend he has in Venice, who's a dealer. They've hung out socially. He's bought watches from this guy. He's sold watches from this guy. He said he pets his dog when he sees him. Like it's a family owned business for many, many generations. So he trusts this guy. He would
mhm,
consign to him because, they have a relationship, trust. And he said, YouTube gray market dealers, the only reason they're on YouTube is because they are trying to manufacture that kind of trust. And it's called a parasocial relationship. It's when friendship is developed between a content consumer, that would be us, and the content creator, who would be maybe the gray market dealer, right? So, we have access to, we feel like we know our favorite YouTubers, right? Because and I've experienced this. We're all content creators, so we've all probably gotten messages. I know I have. Like
mhm,
people feel like they know us and they feel like they can reach out to us. Um, but the truth is, they don't really know us. And a lot of people, I think, can like Timepiece Gentleman was living the baller lifestyle on other people's money, right? You can be anything you want to be. So that's scary because
mm.
I know I'm completely living a lie on you. No, I'm just kidding. But no, but it's a parasocial. We feel like, because Sheen even says like, when you're watching this, you're looking at me. You're looking at me, but I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at a camera. I don't know you. So there's sort of like a disconnect there where we feel a connection to our favorite YouTuber. We see their watches, we see their videos, we feel like they know them. We know what's in Sanjay's collection most of the time.
Yeah,
It's hard
no,
to
we
keep
don't.
up. But we have that intimate relationship that's not reciprocated. It's
Yeah.
asymmetrical, is what he said, right? It's an asymmetrical relationship where we know them intimately, they don't know us at all.
Mm,
Um, and the gray market guys know this, like Timepiece Gentlemen, and they feast on it. They take advantage of it to obviously to sell watches, right? Build that trust. They have channels where Federico does his shtick but what does he mention at the beginning of every video? How he has watches in and they're the cheapest in the world or in America or whatever the heck he says. And Timepiece Gentlemen, same thing. Um, and there's that built-in trust there that we have with them because we know them on an intimate level. And he even talks about Anthony. Anthony's been arrested 40 plus times.
wow.
Apparently this is fact. I don't know. I think Anthony's mentioned this. I didn't watch his video, so I don't know, but it seems like Oisín was inferring that Anthony has actually admitted this. If you, and he says this in the video, if you knew of a watch dealer down the street who'd been arrested 40 times, you would
Mm,
you would not go there, right? But
yeah.
Anthony uses that, he openly admits that, to build like to become a sympathetic figure,
Mm-hmm.
like to say, I'm on the rebound, I'm a changed man. So we feel like, oh, okay, we can trust this guy. So they're using YouTube as a venue too. And he talks about Spencer from BQ Watches, who was just he called him a geezer just selling watches, but now he has a YouTube channel, and we feel like we know him and we can
Yeah.
trust him. So yeah, do you feel like you? I don't know where to go from this. Do you feel like you? And the Horology House did the same thing, right? This guy takes
Yeah.
beautiful photography, beautiful pictures. He sold a fake watch. Whether he knew it was fake, I don't really know. I didn't keep up with that story. I don't know anymore. But do you guys feel like you know and can trust an online YouTube dealer versus somebody else, or does that matter to you that you can have a somewhat sort of intimate relationship with them, even if it's one sided?
Well, I mean, like my previous example with AB. I mean, AB, I had a presence on YouTube way before I think he started this venture of selling watches online. Again, I had also a kind of like a personal relationship with him in a sense that we were friends. We're not the best friends. I mean, like, I never met him in person, like, but we would text. You know what I mean? We
Right,
would talk about stuff. We
right.
talk about YouTube and making videos, and I'd ask him for some advice on things, and he'd ask me some advice on things. You know what I mean? So there was a little bit more than just your typical relationship. So that's why I felt like a trust. Other than that, um, I mean, I have no problem, I think, like buying a watch from Fed, right?
Yeah.
Selling a watch, I've tried to. He just low balls you. But again, consigning and stuff like that from anybody, I just don't know. I mean, like, I'd rather just sell the watch myself or trade it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like, I think I answered that already a couple of times, so I won't belabor it anymore. How about you, Sanjay?
Um, I don't I don't know.
Hmm.
I guess the horology house is probably the biggest one that is like with Timepiece Gentleman. There was always something about him.
Hmm.
Even when we were watching his documentaries, not documentaries. What would you call that? Reality show.
Yeah.
Um, there was something about him. Like,
A little
yeah,
scammy, right? Something
Yeah.
yeah,
scammy about
He
him.
could make YouTube videos all day long. I still wouldn't sell a watch to that guy.
Yeah.
right, right. And
Yeah.
if there was no drama, I'd be like,
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to do business with him. But
What about a guy like
Horology
Roman
House, though.
Sharf? What about like Roman Sharf?
Roman Sharf, I had built some sort of connection with him in a again, I probably wouldn't do any business with him.
Mm.
The other thing is they're overseas for me,
Right,
right?
right,
They're in
right.
the
You
US.
have a different
Yeah.
story. Yeah, yeah, sure.
But Roman Sharf, I had a great deal of respect for. I don't know if I still do. Um, but I used to watch his Tuesday Q&A or whatever he used to do,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
he
yeah.
used to sit
Yeah.
in a chair and shoot at the
Yeah,
Oisín doesn't seem to trust him, but I think that has to do with the whole Nico Leonard
Right, yeah.
thing.
right.
I
Yeah.
have no idea
Yeah.
what happened there, but, it's a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
but Horology House, that was really shocking 'cause
Yeah.
I looked at this guy who's really soft-spoken, very
Hmm.
smiley, um, very gentle, seemed like a gentle soul, and I kinda connected with him in that way. I didn't really know what was in his collection per se, but I felt like, this guy wouldn't do something like this,
Yeah.
And then Scottish Watches did that podcast episode with the people who got scammed,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like this, overwhelming amount of evidence, alleged, allegedly, um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that was a real, mind bender seeing that, but I think that was the closest I got to maybe a parasocial kind of connection because um, even if I watch a channel quite consistently, it's rare that I get to comment and actually interact with that person because I'm usually listening to that channel.
Yeah.
Even before I worked as a detailer, I'd only listen to YouTube while driving
Mhm.
because my day is just usually a disaster. But yeah, so I'd never really get to communicate, so I never got into that parasocial.
But what about the other way around?
I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
People know my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People talk about everything. They sent me like heartbroken emails about me selling the
Yeah. Oh
SPG
yeah.
or
Yeah.
003.
People talk about my hands. Still,
Yeah.
still every once in a while, like every like month, I'll get an email about my dry hands
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
suggestions for them.
I think for anyone who does actually make that effort to reach out to me, I actually make the effort to know them.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
try to,
Mm,
hey, what do you? Because they'll ask me a few questions, and then I'll try to reciprocate that.
mm,
Not
Yeah.
not
sure.
that I don't want to be a celebrity. I want to have a relationship with that person because they took the time to reach out to me, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that does happen like a crazy amount.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
It blows my mind when it happens. I'm like, people actually listen to this. This is just something I make in my living room, like that. It's interesting with because there's no video on you really when you're doing
Yeah,
a podcast or anything. So it's like, do people even like hear this or care? But yeah, I get a lot of messages, and most of them are. Yeah, I remember the SLA 043 in particular, waxing poetic on it on the podcast. Like one person bought it and they were pretty upset with me when I sold it. I don't know if they really were, but
you're right.
they were. I got a message and like, yo, I bought this because you could still enjoy it. Just the fact that I don't have it anymore. But yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting. I like this whole parasocial. The rest of the video I didn't really care about,
Yeah,
but this parasocial thing, I found it fascinating because
Yeah.
it was like the thing with with our random Rob. I identified something with I identified with something enough to
mhm,
like shoot him a message about a watch, and then we became friendly.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and we all know how that ended. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know,
It happens, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah. Speaking of parasocial relationship, Kevin S saying, "I feel like I know Sanjay." Then he trashes the Rolex GMT Master 2. I have to question that. Who is he really?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Clayton's the real deal. That's what Chris Barnes says, and Paul agrees. Hey, Pale Horse is here. How you doing? 60 UIs apparently
Yeah.
for Anthony. Um,
How many
Kevin,
CUIs? Cocaine? Well, I don't
wow.
know.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Me and Clayton are virtual friends. Kevin S.
Yes.
The
The
great thing about like
SJ093 has brought us together.
like Kevin S is a good example. Somebody like we actually I think we pretty much met through the Random Rob Discord. A lot of you guys like
Yeah, a
Clayton.
lot of us did. Yeah.
That's how
Yep.
really how I met you.
Yep.
And so like we've developed this friendship, and so many other people like Chaz from Vert, so many Paul. I mean, there's so many to name. I'm not leaving anybody out. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not doing it on purpose, but there's so many of you. And then the beauty of it is like, you know, like once a year, maybe once in a while, we get to meet these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And getting to meet Kevin S. and 911 Dan and everybody else like at
Oh,
a
awesome.
watch event. Wolfie, a couple of times, and that's awesome too, right? And so that's the beauty. That's the greatness of it, because we spend a lot of time talking with each other. And look, I mean, it's crazy to think that if it wasn't for a crazy flu, right, that none of this probably would have happened. Like this kind of the community that we've gotten together here with fellow YouTube creators, content creators, and people here on the chat. Like we probably, I don't know, maybe would have happened, but I think a lot of it got accelerated, right, during that time. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Now I still wouldn't expect any of you guys to sell a watch through me, or I'm not going to sell a watch through you. But that's fine. We could just be friends and talk about watches, right?
But I
Um,
mean, I think we've probably all, I know you have, and I think I have put watches for sale on our Instagram accounts, and maybe people feel like they can trust us a little bit more because
yeah,
we can be held
yeah.
accountable,
Hey,
right? If they have a bad experience, they can like, we're sort semi-public figures. So
good point. I mean, I've sold watches on Watch You Seek, and when I started, so you need like 100 posts before you can sell a watch, and then like when you start selling watches, like it's kind of hard to like you know get verify, like like how do you ensure somebody who's buying a watch from you? Obviously you can still do PayPal goods and services, but still, right? And I've done that. I'm like, listen, here, look at my channel. This is me. This is me.
Yeah.
Like, like, not to say that, oh, you should totally trust me, but like
You use that
you
as
can
collateral,
you can
like,
use that as a collateral.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I've done that, yeah. I won't
uh,
screw you, I have a podcast, so you can
yeah,
tell people not to listen to my podcast and drag my name. It's pretty public, so
right.
you can
Um,
trust me, I have a podcast.
yeah. Ocean seems like a pretentious self promoter. Scott saying, I basically will do only business with, not consign, but any sort of business with Watchbox. Okay, yeah, European watch company for sure, and traditional ADs. Even if you buy a legit watch from these gray markets, it could be stolen. Um, is Sanjay working on long con with us and infinite valuable stuff? Kevin, come on.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, everyone is good until they're not, right?
right, that's true. That's true. Um, okay, let me scroll down here because we're kind of getting. Hey, Div, look who's singing "Kumbaya." All right. Um, hey, Watch and Cut channel is here. How you doing, Watch and Cut? Um,
I met a
is Pe-
friend today who lives in my town, 5 minutes from me, indirectly through the podcast and another, like, local, online group I'm in. He lives 5 minutes away. We went and had coffee this morning. Great guy. We great watches. Like, new watch friend. So,
yeah.
it's awesome.
Um, is parasocial a mental disorder? Feeling connected to a person on video like Hinckley and Jodie Foster. I may relate to a comment, but I don't know you. I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily a mental disorder. I think I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not going to say what it
Well,
is. It's
if you take it to that level that he did.
yeah. If you take it to
Yeah.
Hinckley level, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, that's going to be a problem. Hey, Senator, do you know who Jodie Foster is, right?
Not a clue. I was thinking of what's that Freaky Friday, the lady who
Oh, that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jodie Foster's, Silence of the Lambs,
Have you seen Silence on the Lambs?
No.
Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver, is that a movie or?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought it was the
Profession too,
taxi.
it's a profession,
I thought he was the
to be
taxi
fair.
driver. Is it a he or she? I thought she was the taxi driver in Silence of the Lamb, you know?
Oh.
He said taxi driver. I was like, okay. Seems like a small part.
She's taxi driver number 2.
Okay. We can go. Okay. All right, Sanjay, we're gonna let you off the hook here. Okay.
Okay.
But Rob, rolling into mental disorder or mental illness, Sanjay is picked just Bluefish watch reviews is watch collecting a mental illness. Sanjay, please go ahead.
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting video. I thought, um, I didn't expect too much going into it, but got hit with a few grenades,
Yeah.
right in the fields, as the kids
Mm.
say today. But yeah, he, what's I can't remember his name.
Guy, right?
Guy.
Yeah, guy.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. He actually delivered this video with alarming composure, considering what he dropped on people. Like talking about loss of family to suicide and attempted suicide and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
um, in terms of watches, I think he had some really interesting thoughts as well. Like in terms of mental disorders, he was talking about this obsessive compulsive personality disorder, I want to say. Is that
Mhm.
is that yeah.
Yep.
And he was talking about fixating on something, um and trying to fix it, or trying to not see it again, or something like that. And I feel like that is something I can really relate to, like crazy relate to. I'm not diagnosing myself as a OCPD patient or anything, but this is something I did very recently with the Grand Seiko GMT with the ripples on the dial. Even if I couldn't see it, I'd make sure I'd go to the sun and saw it, and then feel bad about myself because the dial has a defect on it, and then come back inside and not see it, but know that it's there, and just ruin my day. But um, but I guess the difference with me was that I was able to move beyond it in a sense, like,
Mhm.
to make peace with it, but maybe as someone who actually has OCPD is unable to make peace with it. But anyway, that was an interesting thing that he spoke about. The other thing was, I think he kind of touched on financial health, like
Yeah.
overspending on watches toward the end of the video. I think he talked about that. In a weird way relating to mental health as well, mental, physical, and financial health, and um, tying it together in terms of just in terms of your watch collection. So he was talking about how his pendulum was swinging from where he wanted a lot of watches, then he wanted no
Mhm.
watches, and then now he's at a happy medium, and then financial health in terms of uh, overspending on watches, and um, I guess going into debt to get watches, or I guess the other thing I'm kind of projecting here in a sense, but I guess I am in a sense unhealthily saving up for watches, right? Like I will go through great privation to make sure that I'm able to get this watch or that watch, or if I forget to pack a lunch, hey, sucks to be you, Sanjay. You're not going out to eat because you're saving up for that watch, right? I will have, I will cut every trim, no fat allowed, in a sense, right? Um, so I don't know if that would apply for financial health. So I was kind of chewing on this video for a few days. I did. It's a bit of an older video, so he did it a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't get to really chat about it. So a little heavy video, but you can kind of apply the watch side of things, and try to think about it that way. But do you guys have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll jump in. Look, I mean, literally taking the title of the video is watch collecting and mental illness. No, I mean, obviously, I don't think so. Do people
Right.
with mental illness collect watches? I'm
That was
sure
a
they
little
do.
clickbaity, I thought,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
based on
uh,
what he talked about.
exactly. Yeah. So look, I mean, I know some people. I think I know some people who are collectors who are very have that kind of OCD element to it. I don't. For me, it's like impulse control, right? And I don't know if that's a mental illness, or maybe if it's gets to a point where it's like too much, it could be seen as mental illness. And for me, that I got to practice that. I totally relate, like with a lot of what he said. I mean, or sympathize. Let me say, with a lot of what he is saying. I think when I think and look, I'm not a professional psychiatrist, but like if you're in this hobby and you're not getting any enjoyment because you have to do certain things, or collect or buy certain thing or whatever, like if there's no enjoyment there, then you got to question yourself. And I'm not saying that you have like a mental illness and not anything at all, but I mean, I think that you should reevaluate why you're doing this, right? And that goes to financial health, that goes into to mental health, and all that kind of stuff. Look, yeah, very very heavy beginning of the video, man. I mean, like,
Mhm.
uh, I sympathize with him. I feel like a lot of it was oversharing. You know what I mean? But
Right.
he can put it out there however he wants to put it out there. That's on him, and maybe him reaching out and saying what he said, maybe that helps somebody who's watching the video going through a tough time, or can relate to what his experiences are, and that's great, man. I just want to talk about watches. You know what I mean? And so a lot of heavy stuff there.
Yeah.
Clayton, what you think?
Yeah. Yeah, like, not to overshare too much, but I've had anxiety issues. Yeah, like ADHD, which
Mm.
leads to a lot of the impulsivity, I think, with watches. So maybe I don't think it's watch collecting is a mental illness, but maybe some of the other things I have going on, I have to watch it and
Mhm.
just like control so I don't get stressed out about the
Mhm.
hobby. But yeah, I've had some anxiety. Anxiety is something I've struggled with, like actually physical. It's physically manifested itself where I thought I had acid reflux, but it was really
Mm.
my body's reaction to stress and anxiety. I had a couple of really stressful situations where I all of a sudden, like, my lungs felt like I was a 5 pack a day smoker.
Mhm.
Like it's crazy. Like it's I thought that would have been like, oh, your body has physical reactions to stress. Like, oh, that's a bunch of hogwash. No, it's real.
Mhm.
So I have to be careful with all that. So I get what he's saying. Yeah, and he was very open about gosh, his mom and his sister, and yeah. So I know that watches have stressed me out, and maybe I can do like an audit sometime and like how much of my time in the hobby is enjoying it and how much is either being stressed about something or wanting something, lusting after something, figuring out how to sell something financially. Like, how much really is enjoyment?
Mm.
How much Jeff McMahon is there that I'm not willing to accept? Jeff McMahon is maybe like he's so aware of it. I'm not gonna, even if I am having those feelings, I'm not gonna go out and make YouTube videos about it. Like, I'm not that brave. But
Mm.
yeah, so like maybe I have to do an audit sometime. Like, how much, what percentage is anxiety and stress, and what can I do about that? I think knowing me, I just need a smaller collection because I think a lot of the stress and selling comes from just impulsively buying too much and then having to sell a bunch of them. So I was talking with Kevin today about how like he's a collector, which I kind of wish I could be because it would be cool to like be a Seiko dive watch collector or something.
Mhm.
But I think that's cool, but I know myself, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I will stress out because I'm not wearing them or whatever, and I will sell them all. But he is, and that's really cool. But I can't do that as much as I want to be that guy. So I think just knowing yourself, because yeah, we're into some pretty expensive watches too. So you don't
Mhm.
want to make the mistakes that maybe we could have made when we were buying $200 Orients. Now we're not buying that anymore,
Yeah.
really, most of us. So there's a way it can be stressful, and should it be? Maybe a little bit like if it doesn't hurt, it's not worth doing. But how much should it hurt?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That was from the Pete McConville video recently,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it's gotta hurt for it to kind of mean something.
Right.
Um, I thought that was a fascinating concept too. Um, the for it needing to hurt. I think the debt hurt is absolutely a horrible thing,
That's
a
a bad
horrible
hurt.
idea. But I agree that the way I'm doing it kind of hurts, but it doesn't hurt at the same time. Like when I'm aggressively saving towards a watch, um, it feels like a game. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like, I'm in a sense grinding towards something, and it feels really great when you get there, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of hurt that makes sense. And yeah, I'm not unhappy. Just so you guys know, I'm really happy, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm here on purpose. I'm
Right.
not trapped.
Right.
No Tim Hortons for Sanjay.
Yeah, yeah. There's one right next door too. So,
Oh man,
Can we all chip
brutal.
in and get Sanjay Tim Hortons?
no,
You should
no.
always eat lunch, Sanjay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please
I
do, man.
rarely forget to pack a lunch. So
Um, let's see here. 4 years ago, what watch should you wear to a funeral was the title. Okay. I think he's talking perhaps about another guy video. Watch collection is supposed to bring some sort of joy and satisfaction. If not, don't do it. Wilson, you're absolutely right. If
Right.
there's anybody who enjoys the hobby more, is there anybody else than Wilson who enjoys this hobby the most? I love it. Um, Listen, I'm a tag fanboy. You people have no idea what anxiety is. Kudos. I don't get it. I spent 5 weeks in the ICU and another 5 weeks in a 24/7 long-term care. Was told I would never walk or breathe without assistance. That's depressing, but you work at it one day at a time.
Right.
All right. Well, hmm. Oh, this is a this is a heavy question, man. What percentage of time do you spend looking at watches in a day? Do you look at them instead of your responsibilities? Yeah, I totally,
Mm-hmm.
I totally do.
Yeah.
I totally,
Oh, yeah.
I can't. I literally can't. I'm in a dungeon, a well lit dungeon, but with no cell phone reception, so I can't.
all right. Knowing yourself and being honest with yourself is important to making good decisions in this hobby. Yeah,
Yep.
sure. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Sometimes it takes a
Um,
lot of money to get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did there, there is look, there is speaking of pain, right? There is pain getting to where we want to get. You know what I mean? There for sure. You know, whether it is making some mistakes, watch collecting, but I mean, like, look, I mean, like, I think without those mistakes, they form us, right? They form what we want, what we like, how we want to collect, and I mean, the problem is like, I don't learn from those mistakes all that often. I still sometimes make the same mistakes over and over again. Anyway, I love
Learn
collecting
and live,
watches.
Bobby.
Yep.
Learn
Yeah,
and
learn
live.
and live. Yeah,
Live and learn.
live and let die, right? Or whatever, or whatever. Hey guys, we made it. We made it through another episode 19 of the Watch Soup. Sanjay and Clayton and chat. Thank you so much, Clayton. What do you got up next in the
Oh, I've
podcast?
been on summer break. Sanjay and I recorded a podcast last week. I lost the SD card, so it's just been a mess. There might be a new episode someday. I don't know when.
Gotcha. No worries. No worries. What about you, Sanjay? What's going on? Hey, I mean, do we have some? Yeah, I saw some an unboxing video recently of yours. Beautiful watch. Um,
Wearing it
let's
right
see.
now.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what do you got coming on?
I got to do a review on the Black Bay 58 Bronze before I take it in, give it its Viking funeral.
Yeah,
Set it
yeah.
on fire.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm not surprised, right? I mean, I'm not surprised about that. I was surprised when you picked it up. Actually, I was more surprised about that.
Yeah, it's a great watch.
Yeah,
It's just as
yeah.
good as a GMT Master 2.
uh, I love it. Okay, you got to get that one in. Get it in there, Sanjay. All
Yeah.
right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Tuesday, another live stream at the Bobby Lake channel. So see you guys then. And hey, have a great week. And we'll see you guys all next Sunday for another episode of Watch Soup. Have a good night. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.